Two guys.
One beer. Chris, yet again, another guest.
This week.
This time, though, a bit different. We're at the Kia Training Center, Toronto FC's training ground.
Yes, we are.
With President of Toronto FC, Bill Manning. Bill, thanks.
Three guys, one beer.
I
3 beers, though, we talked about, right?
Yes, 3 beers.
Everybody wants to change the name.
We don't want to share
beer.
that
you don't
would
want
be
to
very
do.
weird.
That would be weird.
Yes, it would be very strange.
So we decided to go with Mill Street Organic. This is your choice.
Yes.
It took a lot of work to get it here, actually.
It actually did today. Quite a long story there, right?
It's here now, so...
See how easy that was to take off?
Is that the American in you? Oh, man. There it goes, right on.
Yes.
So you guys have never had this beer before?
This will be my first time.
Oh, all right. Same thing?
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
I do know that it is Mill Street Brewery's first beer. The first one they actually started with. It's their flagship beer, kind of what they call it. 4.2% alcohol.
Okay.
Completely 100% organic.
So what does organic mean in beer terms?
You know, I've been trying to figure that out.
Is that like just a marketing stamp that they put on this thing?
Maybe.
You know, I wonder about that.
It's
not to take away the taste of the beer, but what is organic?
I'm thinking it's part of the process. Less preservatives, so it won't... Less meaning none, obviously.
Oh,
It has to
really?
be
All right, okay.
organic.
Okay.
So maybe it has a shorter shelf life. Sometimes through the filtration process is also where things get added.
Yeah, it says 2 to 3 times longer to brew than ordinary beer.
Because they're not throwing in the preservatives. Look at you reading the bottle.
Yeah.
So basically you have to wait longer to enjoy this.
Yeah, that's all right. Sometimes the best things in life we gotta wait for,
That's
right?
right.
I'm a Toronto FC fan, so
Yeah,
until
you've waited a long time.
until the last set of playoffs there,
You've waited
I fully
a long
understand. But we're tomorrow.
Literally.
You know, we're recording on Tuesday. It's Tuesday. I'm already ready for Wednesday.
Yes,
The show's going to go on Wednesday a few hours before the game, so that others can see it.
Cool.
And I've waited.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
we waited long enough.
I'm not going to wait anymore for this
Oh,
beer.
all right. You ready?
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Was that good?
Yeah. Very good.
What do you think? I'm looking at them out there. What about you guys? What do you think?
This is reminding me of a, this would come from your part of the world, of like a MGD.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Miller Genuine Draft. Right?
Yeah,
It's
Miller
interesting.
Genuine Draft. It's got that same...
See, for me, it matters. So, and I like beer. That's why I wanted to come on your show. Of course.
Well, we wanted you
But I'm a little bit of a lightweight when it comes to strong beer. Right.
Okay.
This isn't a strong beer. It's a nice kind of smooth. It's a good casual beer that you can have, and you can probably have a lot of them.
Yeah.
You know, there's some beers you have 3 or 4, and you're in trouble.
Well, that's the nice
So
thing
this
about
is a
light
nice beer. It's a light beer. It's easy.
Yeah.
I probably got faked out by the whole marketing organic thing, but I like that. I like that it's kind of fresh and clean, and it's a nice easy taste.
He didn't say smooth though.
No.
That's our favorite word, or at least my favorite word around here. Is
Yeah.
smooth. But that's what I feel like. It's a very
It's a
smooth
nice,
beer.
easy, smooth drinking beer.
You can't go one show without saying it.
No, I even
well.
brought him into it. I forced him to say it was smooth.
I would. This would be a really good summer day.
That's the thing, right? On a
you can have
90
this
degree
at
day,
lunchtime at
right?
work.
Yeah,
You okay with it?
yeah.
You know, you have that
Because
Right,
nice
you
light
could
beer.
because it's a nice light beer.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And- You like to call them game day beers, but this is definitely a game day beer. Like you could drink this on a game day at home or at the stadium. It's a good.
It's easy. It's nice, easy beer. Now it's not a hardcore beer.
No,
You know what I mean? It's not a hardcore beer. It's a nice, easy beer.
Yeah.
It's probably why it's their bestseller, I guess, right?
Most likely.
Or their,
Most likely.
you know, because the
flagship.
average beer drinker may not be a connoisseur like you guys.
Wow.
of
No,
beer, you
if
know?
there's one thing about us, when we watch the show, we're not connoisseurs. We're just two guys who enjoy
Two
beer
guys
and,
and a beer,
and
right?
beer.
Yeah.
Talking about beer, and I'm going to segue into BMO Field.
All right, yeah, absolutely. Can I
Any new
still
beers?
drink my beer?
Of course you can.
Keep drinking.
Can we look forward to any new beers next year at BMO?
Oh, interesting. I may have to shout into the audience to my business guy, Chris Schufelt. Any new beers next year?
Over the last number of years, we've added a whole roster of beers to the mix. So before, when we transitioned to Budweiser, it was literally 5 of their brands. Right now we have 14 brands available at BMO Field. Everything from Mill Street Organic, Mill Street products to Goose Island available, Stella's available.
Goose Island, I've never tasted
So there's
that.
a lot of different brands, Rolling Rock, a lot of different brands available at BMO Field. And every year they look to innovate and add some additional beers into the mix. And there's one specific area at the stadium that they have called their innovation area, and they add their new products there on a yearly basis.
Okay.
So if we add new beers next year, which we haven't discussed yet, it'll be in that innovation area, which is on the northwest concourse.
Northwest Conference.
So
Right
we
above
just
the
got the
stairs.
voice. Did we get the voice?
We did.
Did the volume come in? All right, good.
So I don't know if we
got it.
caught it, but we'll try to try to get it there, or we'll translate it somehow for you. There may be new beers coming next year. There may not be, but
I'm focusing
I'm gonna
on
ask
winning
you-
soccer games
yes.
right now. That's
most
the big
important.
key. Yes.
you
Although I'll tell you, so after every game, we have a little room where myself and Tim and the coaches kind of sit and we, just absorb the night and we actually all enjoy a beer.
there we
Oh,
go.
And
nice.
so I float back and forth between a Guinness
Nice.
and then sometimes this Mill Street. This Mill Street Organic.
Well, that's two separate worlds.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I
Yeah,
love
no,
a
it
Guinness.
is. So I love a good Guinness.
Yeah,
and
that's a great.
so it kind of depends on how my stomach feels and how I feel. If I'm on a light stomach, I'll go Guinness. If I kind of have eaten a little bit this game, I'll go with a light beer like this.
So speaking of what you do after a game,
Yeah.
what do you do before a game? Do you have a game day ritual?
Actually, nothing. So my whole thing is don't bother me before the game. Let me
Yeah.
get in. I like to walk. Dan sees me sometimes. I walk through the club. I go down the field. I usually come in. I'll greet the players and the coaches.
Okay.
Then I generally like to go to. I actually go up to my suite.
Yeah.
And I get a little pregame meal. It's my own thing by myself.
Okay.
Just me. I'll have a slice of pizza or a hot dog or whatever. This nice little thing, and then I'll wait till the team goes on the field. I'll go back down. So usually when I see you, is I'll kind of go back down through the Rogers Club, say hello to a couple. But I go down the field, and then sometimes I have a guest, sometimes not, and I just kind of enjoy the moment. And then I go up usually just before once the team leaves, I'll kind of go back up into my suite, and I usually host different people every game, and I get ready for the game. So
Nice.
it's very simple. Like Chris knows, these guys ask me to do things all the time, and I'm like, no. Why do you want me to do the parade from Brazen Head and all that? Like, guys, it's not my style.
You're
Gotta
messing
do
with
the
messing with my-
So that
I like
is a
to go.
routine.
It is. I like to go to the games. I go on the field. I eat my little pregame thing. That's it. I don't need to do much more. And there's a lot of guys like to do the radio, TV, and all that stuff. I'm all good. For me, it's all about the team, and preparing for the team, and making sure the guys. I always make sure the guys know I'm there.
Yeah.
Just so that they know I'm behind them. I always go in the locker room. I shake the guys' hands. I always make sure the coaches, I see them before the game, and it's nice. It's good feeling when everyone. And I think that's why you've seen success with this team. Everyone's together.
Yeah.
I was going to say, are we going to be able to, in this MLS being a cap league, are you going to have difficulties keeping this group together next year?
Actually, I think a year ago we were in a bad cap
Yes.
situation, and we worked really hard in the offseason, Tim and I, to really bring in some good pieces, and Steven and Clint and Will and Drew, and we had to offload a few pieces to clear some salary cap space. We're actually in a good spot now, not great. We're in a good spot. The whole goal for me now is to keep this group together, and you're always going to tweak it a little bit. You tweak it
Sure,
here, you tweak
yeah.
it there. You get a player like an Armando Cooper or a Subasa Endo, guys that kind of come in and then get into your lineup, but because you always want to improve. But my goal is that we're going to have a group of players here that are going to play in this team for a while,
Nice.
and they're winners.
Well, as
This
fans,
is
we're
a
happy
group-
about
this
that.
is a
That's
group
what we
of
want
winners.
as
Yeah.
fans.
This is a group of winners, and if you look at TFC's history, it's one of the things I remember vividly when I first met with Larry Tannenbaum and George Cope, and there was Guy Lawrence at the time. Is I said, TFC's history has been constant change,
Yes.
and every year you have new players, new GMs, new coaches, everything. And my whole thing is I felt with a little bit of stability, and I felt this was a good locker room to start with.
Mhm.
But now I think we have players that aren't looking over their shoulders. We have a coach who's not looking over his shoulder, and they just are focusing on winning soccer games.
Yes, that's
and
important.
now
What a
it's
crazy
coming
thought.
together. What a crazy thought!
What a
right?
crazy thought.
Win the game. That's
Just
important.
win the games, and that's what we focus on. And I was kind of bold, and when I first got hired, you speak to all the MLS staff, so like 1,000 people in there, and I said at some point we'll win a championship over the next 5 years. At some point, I couldn't guarantee when maybe it's this year, maybe not, but at some point we will. And that's how much confidence I had in this team.
Fantastic.
We have the same confidence. We really we're there every game.
Although he almost gave up at one point, right?
No.
They had to drag him back in.
They didn't have to drag me back. I didn't give up.
He still would have been a fan. No
Yes,
matter
of
what.
course, yeah.
It was just the do I renew my club seats?
That's right.
Or
That's
go
right.
back
Because you
to
had the
my
other seats.
other
Yeah.
seats on the second level.
Yep.
I was never getting rid of
Yep,
anything.
yep.
There might have just been a little less luxury.
We might have needed another beer.
I always need another beer.
We might have to.
So you mentioned three, 4 names there. Bettershore.
Yep.
Irwin.
Yep. Will Johnson.
Moore. Will
Those
Johnson.
are 4 big pickups, yeah.
I'm just thinking past teams and not so much the past teams, but things that we've heard in the news and stuff that nobody wanted to come to Toronto. Like if you were in MLS, this was the no.
Well, you know what? It's true though, because actually Toronto, and I can tell you from my perspective, being in Salt Lake, was a disaster.
Yes.
And no one wanted to go there because of how the players were treated. The coaches were gone after a year. You know, there was no continuity. And so, you know, when we sold Drew Moore, you know, myself and Tim and Greg, it was on, you're going to be a cornerstone of a franchise that's going to win, and we're going to treat our players well, and we're going to stay together.
So is that mindset within the MLS and maybe even overseas, like in Central America, Europe, from what you've known in the last year plus since you've been here, has people's minds changed about Toronto? I mean, we know what's changed on
Without
the
a
pitch.
doubt, yeah, without a doubt. I think it happened. It started 2 years ago when Tim Lewicki came out and made the bloody big deal.
Yeah,
right?
Bloody big
But
deal.
look, that was a bold move for
Yeah,
this
it was.
organization, and Tim will always credit our board for giving him the resources to do that. But that made an impact, right, worldwide.
Yes.
You brought in Jermaine Defoe, who actually had mixed results in MLS, third leading goal scorer in the Premier League right now.
Yes.
You know, so whenever
Exactly.
someone says our league is not a competitive league,
Exactly. I have him in my
there's
fantasy
so
league.
many guys that you can point to because he's scoring more in the Premier League than he was in MLS.
Absolutely.
But I think the way we go about our business, the way we treat our players, look at Kia Training Ground where we are right now.
Yes.
It's the best
Fantastic.
facility,
Fantastic.
arguably in North America,
Amazing.
right? And I think the message is now getting through MLS. And I think it actually took about last year. So after Bloody Big Deal, then you had last year where we made the playoffs, but it still was. And then this year, I think they saw some of the moves we've made, and people started saying we're one of the favorites to win. And I have no problem with that because I think we should be in that conversation.
Yes.
Should be.
And
definitely.
now I think we've delivered, and I think people are around the league here because I talk to agents. Tim talks to more agents than I do, but I the big ones I'll talk to, and they're like, Mike so and so wants to come.
Yeah.
Yeah. Will Johnson wanted to come to Toronto. He played for me in Salt Lake.
Yeah.
He wanted to come to Toronto. That was a big move for him. When Steven Beitashour made the decision. He made the decision to come to Toronto rather than staying in Vancouver. Drew Moore had better offers on the table than we had because of our salary cap
Yep.
issues. Made the decision to come here.
Nice.
And
Thanks,
so that
Drew.
was big. Yeah, that was big with those guys.
Thanks,
And
Lowell.
they made a tremendous impact on not only us on the field, but actually in the culture because they're all winners.
Exactly.
Well, I'm expecting a win
Me too.
because
That would be nice, yes.
That's what I'm supposed to do.
Yes.
As a fan, we
You know?
we expect wins.
Yes,
And maybe we can do this again after December 10th.
that would be good.
I was on the Red Patch Boys forum today,
Okay.
and I asked out quickly, what question would they like me to ask you? One of them I already asked,
all right.
and I snuck it in there.
Wow.
Another one is, and I know this is us as fans getting ahead of ourselves. So the parade routes, is it BMO Field to ACC
So
or
didn't I hear
reverse?
Tim Lewicki had it like all mapped out, right? The
No, that was
parade
for
route
Leafs.
for the Maple Leafs.
You
right?
know, so we're wondering, are we going from BMO Field to ACC or are we doing it in reverse?
So it's funny because when I was in Salt Lake and we went to the championship in 2009, and people started talking about what are you going to do? I'm like, I didn't want to think about
No, I
No,
know.
I-
literally.
Ourselves.
We don't really even want you to answer that question.
The minute we won the game, though, you got to think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I had a gal that worked for me at the time, Katie Mattis, who's actually running game day for the league here
Oh, sweet.
tomorrow. And I said, you got to figure this out. And she got with the mayor, and they figured it out. So I know it can be done in 48 hours, 72 hours. So I am not worrying about it right now.
This city's waited long enough.
Let's win the game.
I'm sure they have a few already set up.
And then you still have to win December 10th. So,
That's right.
the thing I've been saying, 2 more games, guys.
Yes.
2 more games. And
look,
Montreal's a tough team. They're a veteran team.
They are.
We have, actually the last 4 games we've played them, we haven't won.
No,
We've lost, and we've lost 2 and tied 2 the last 4 times we've played. Now I say it's our turn.
Yes.
But it's, they beat us 1-0 at home.
Okay, so enough talk about that.
No,
We're not going to talk about Montreal.
No, not winning, but they're a tough team. And
They
so nothing comes easy. And we're going to have to make sure we get out on a game. But I feel good about these guys.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Well, I'm going to leave it on that. We are going to have you on again.
I would love to.
And I'm hoping
We'd love to.
We'll try
holding
the
a cup of
honkers
some kind.
The what?
The honkers. The Goose Island.
Yes.
Oh, the Goose Island. I've never tried
Nor have I.
that. Yeah.
So save it for when you come on with us the next time.
All right, so do us a favor. Like, share, follow, subscribe.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.